me ask you another question. Are you, put it in a percentage, what's the chance of you moving back to 1600 Pennsylvania?
Well, first of all, Hillary has to win the nomination. If she wins the nomination, then she has to win the election. If she wins the election, the chances are 100% I'll move back. If I'm asked.
If you're,
That, of course, one-time President Bill Clinton speaking with David Letterman on the last week of the David Letterman Show, here to talk a little bit more about whether or not Bill Clinton will be an asset or something else in the race to the White House with his wife Hillary Clinton is Brent Budowsky, writer for The Hill, former aide to Senator Lloyd Bentsen, and the man who always has a good cigar with him. Brent, welcome to the program today.
Pleasure to be here. Let me wish everyone in our audience a happy Memorial Day. I just spent the last few hours today and most of the weekend with the Rolling Thunder veterans at the nation's capital, the biker veterans that come here every Memorial Day. And anybody in our audience is here next Memorial Day, you come, you'll love it.
That's pretty tempting. I've heard about Rolling Thunder. I hear it's a great get-together. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about what's been going on there when we get into the next segment. But first, I do want to pick up on an article that you wrote entitled "The Magic of Bill Clinton." Look, the president has been taking a fair amount of guff in the past few weeks. First, for his comment about the need to pay bills based on what the Clintons have been earning since they left the White House, and now he actually got some grief for his performance on the David Letterman Show. Some people are suggesting that maybe Bill Clinton just ain't got it no more. What do you say to that?
Oh, I think he's got it big time. In my column in The Hill, that 26,600 people shared on Facebook, which is pretty good turnout, I said that Bill Clinton is the most fondly remembered and popular former living president. His presidency was, by all measures of most voters, enormously successful. I think he's a major asset to Hillary Clinton. I think he's a major asset to the Democratic Party.
Well, but that was Bill Clinton then. I mean, let's face it, the president's gotten a bit older. Does that mean he's still on his game? I mean, there's no question that Bill Clinton is one of the greatest politicians we've ever seen. Some would maybe disagree as to whether or not his presidency lived up to the quality of his political skills. But that said, that was a long time ago already. He does seem to have more of a propensity. We actually saw it in the 2008 primary season where he made some comments that he had to struggle through. Is it possible that Bill Clinton is not quite as sharp as he once was, and that this is something that the Clinton campaign of today has to worry about?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, we're all not as sharp as we once were when we were a year or two younger.
Yeah, but we're not being relied on to get somebody elected president.
But Bill Clinton's favorable rating, depending on your poll that you read, goes from 58% positive into the high 60s. To this day, right now, he is way up there. And objectively, when he was president in his first term, he created more than 10, 11 million new jobs. In his second term, he created another 10 or 11 new jobs. That is the best performance on job creation, possibly of any president in history per term. And he also balanced the budget, and he also got a budget surplus. And his numbers to this day, as we sit here, remain sky high with the American people. So, and I don't think the public sits around the way we do and analyzes everything he says and what somebody else said. If you could tell the American people that if Hillary Clinton is elected, in the first 4 years of her presidency, we're going to get 10 or 11 million new jobs at high wages in a good economy, I think they'd say, hallelujah.
Yeah, but aren't you just saying that you're electing Hillary for the benefit of getting Bill just because President Clinton was able to achieve that many jobs? There's no magic that transfers that to his wife.
Well, that remains to be seen. As a politician, Bill Clinton is the Babe Ruth of American politics. Nobody, Democrat or Republican, should ever be compared to Bill Clinton.
Is that good for Hillary, or is that a problem for Hillary because she gets compared to that standard?
No, she has to carve out her own identity independent of his in her own way. But the truth is, and I wrote this in my column about the magic of Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton was the closest advisor to Bill Clinton as president, the full partner to Bill Clinton, the confidant to Bill Clinton. And I was in town here when that was going on. she was right at the heart and soul of his presidency. And she was a big part of it, more a part of it than anybody else. So to the degree that Bill Clinton is the most popular former president, which he is, and created 10 million jobs, and the next term 10, 11 million jobs, and balanced the budget and got a budget surplus and did all those things, which he actually did do. To the degree that people like that,
Hey, Brent,
respect that.
Brent, can I ask you to hold that thought? We're going to come back and do more with you in just a bit.
Sure.
Okay, when we return, we're going to stay with Brent Budowsky. We're going to talk more Hillary and a few other areas of politics, so stay with us. Coming back with more Brent Budowsky after this. And we're back for part 2 of our discussion with Brent Budowsky, writer for The Hill magazine, former aide to Senator Lloyd Bentsen, an all-around smart guy. Brent, thanks for joining us again. You're back for a second go at it, and we do appreciate you coming out on a holiday to be with us. We were talking about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton before we took off at the break. You know, I'd love to get your assessment of where you think Hillary stands at this point, if these problems she's been running into have caused her any harm?
Oh, I think they caused her a little bit of harm, not profound harm. I think the big question is, on Hillary's side, can she open up and loosen up and campaign the way she did towards the end of her 2008 campaign, when she really caught her wind and really came alive and did very well? That's the challenge for Hillary. The challenge for Republicans is whether they can field a nominee who looked against Hillary Clinton, standing next to her in a debate, can look like a president of the United States. And that remains to be seen. We'll see about that. They haven't looked that good so far, but you never know who catches fire on the Republican side.
Right.
So she needs to get her footing. She needs to get her bearing and develop her own identity and feel comfortable and positive campaigning. I think she can. I hope she will. On the Republican side, it's who she's up against. And whether the other candidate, the Republican, whoever that is, looks like a president of the United States standing right next to her on that debate platform. And we'll see.
So let me ask you a question, because I get the question a lot, and it seems to be something that as you listen to talk radio, watch talk television, you're hearing more and more. What are Hillary Clinton's actual accomplishments?
Well, the most important accomplishment is that for 8 years, she was the prime advisor, close confidant, major supporter and full partner of the most successful president of all modern living presidents.
But is that an accomplishment?
Oh, yeah. Well, ask the 10 million people that got jobs in his first term. Ask the 10 million people who got jobs in the second term.
Do you get to give Hillary credit for that, or is it Bill Clinton who did that?
Well, they were a team. They were a partnership.
So does George Stephanopoulos get that credit too, and everybody else in the administration?
No. Don't get me going about that. Now, George, by standards of people having influence on Clinton, Stephanopoulos was the little league with Bill Clinton compared to Hillary Clinton. Words cannot describe how close and partnered they are and were when he was the president. So that's a very big deal. I mean, I think by most standards, she was an effective United States senator. She had respect. She can run ads, by the way, if she wants to. Of all the times, John McCain praised her when she was working in the United States Senate. And I think she is a person of weight and depth and substance. I think she was a fairly decent Secretary of State in an impossibly difficult world. And when you add up all those qualifications, here you got Jeb Bush can't tell his position on Iraq after trying 5 different times in 3 different days. There you have it.
So, all right, I'm going to switch gears on you since you gave us such a definitive answer to that question. Just quickly, I know you're not happy with the way things are developing in our struggle with ISIL. Do you have a recommendation? What would you be doing differently?
Absolutely. We must have, and I've been advocating this from the beginning, boots on the ground. I have called for 15,000 ground troops at least, 5,000 of them American, 5,000 of them European, 5,000 from Arab League states, to go kill the bums and to do it. And I think that would probably do it. If the market would bear it, what I want to see even more is the United Nations General Assembly put together a large force like they did in Korea under the United for Peace resolution. I think if you want to stop them, kill them, destroy them, you got to have boots on the ground with guns, and you got to do it.
Whose boots, though?
Well, in my opinion, I said 1/3 American, 1/3 European, 1/3 Arab.
Okay.
I think that's the minimum.
Brett, I gotta wrap it up with you because we're out of time. But as always, very much appreciate you joining us. Come back soon.
Anytime.
Okay, man. So now coming up next, Steve Malzberg pays a special tribute to the military and those who lost their lives in service to this country. He's doing it in honor of this Memorial Day. But first, as you know, today is Memorial Day, and it's important that we do more than just go out and party. It's important that we remember that those who made the ultimate sacrifice and gave their life to our country. So before we say goodbye to you and thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day, we ask you that you please take a moment and remember the fallen right along with me. To do that, please have a look at this.